everybody. So today I'm going to be making some geometric patterned terracotta pots. I am making mine to match my living room. This would also be a great gift, which is what I'm going to do with the second one that I make. So before you get started, you actually don't need a lot of things for this project, which is really great. You need the pots with the little saucer that they usually come with. Also some paint brushes. I have the little foam ones, and I got some Martha Stewart multi-surface paints. I believe that you can also use acrylic paint for these kind of planters, but I found this actually on my way to looking for acrylic paint. So I have this really fun blue, hot pink, and then a metallic gold color. So I've poured the paints into some little cups right here that we can use a little bit later. And you'll also need some masking tape. So we're going to use the masking tape to section off the pattern that we want to create on the flower pot. So I am just going to start off with a piece right over the top here, and always have it positioned so it's going to kind of make a diagonal line across the pot. And the most important thing here is to make sure that when you go over this little, I don't know if this is like the lip, like this top edge where it kind of indents in, to really be careful when you put this in here so that it covers that whole space, so you're not going to end up with paint that kind of runs out, outside of where you want it to be. So I've reached this one all the way across the pot here, and I'm going to just tear off the tape here and finish up this section. Just like that. And again here, it's kind of easy for the tape to wrinkle a little bit when you're going over a corner, so you have to just kind of take your time and really kind of press it down there. So this area right here is kind of what I was talking about, to just make sure that you get it really, really tight to the edge of the pot. So from here, you would just go and, make another like diagonal line, like perhaps I would bring one right here, and then just kind of build off of the other lines that you already have, just connecting the lines and going to the edge of the pot. So we're going to jump forward to one that I've already finished taping earlier. So we'll set this aside, and here is what I got when I finished doing the tape. So I'm not really putting a lot of thought into planning this out, which is great, makes the project really easy. I made sure that I continued this over to the inside as well as to the bottom of the planter. So now we're ready to paint. I have a separate paintbrush for each of my paint colors. I think that this should be pretty easy to do with just holding on to the pot on the tape parts. But if it gets a little bit hard to manage, we can always let it set for a little bit and then come back to it. So, okay, so here's the hot pink. It is looking like it's a little bit transparent, so this might be a project where we have to, paint it, let it sit, kind of come back to it and add a little bit more. We'll see. And then on the very top, you have to kind of decide how far you want the paint to go. Because if you want it to go to the inside, I feel like you have to paint it down like a couple inches in there, so that you can make sure that you won't see like an unfinished edge in there when you have a flower inside of it. So I'm really just kind of dusting across the very top there. So I'm on to my third coat here, and I think after this I will move on to another color. because I am seeing that I am I'm kind of pulling the paint a little bit. I mean, the coverage is definitely getting better, but it's still not full coverage. So that's okay though. We can kind of be patient with it and come back to this. So now I'm going to use my blue in this section here. So it's really easy, as you can see, with the masking tape to separate the sections there. And this project is so simple. It's just going to be really a matter of taking the time to kind of come back to it and add a little bit more. And I feel like the blue is already a more, like a heavier, a thicker paint than the pink was. So that is good. And I think you could definitely use a regular bristle paintbrush for this too. I just preferred to use the sponge applicators for this project. Okay, so as you can see, this is really just the first full coat of the blue. So this one is covering a lot better than the pink did. So I'm gonna just go over this one more time before I leave that to sit and dry. And before we do that, I am going to just grab my gold paint so we can see what that looks like right now as well. Oh, I really like this. And so when it comes to the saucer that you're gonna put under the pot, I feel like it's not necessary to section that one off with tape and come up with a pattern for that. I think you can either just leave it kind of the orangey brown terracotta color that this is, or like paint it one of your favorite colors that you have already on the rest of it. I think I'm going to actually just leave it the same color because keep in mind the stripes here when we take this off are going to be that color, so I think it will accent that very well. And again, just making sure that we paint under here really well. Okay, and the gold, I think the gold covers pretty well. Better than I thought it would. I thought it would be pretty thin being a metallic. So we're gonna jump ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the rest of these areas with the colors, and then we will take a look at it again once we reach that point. All right, so I have finished painting both of the two pots that I made here. This is actually still a little bit wet, but I'm just so excited to see the finished result that we're gonna start taking the tape off now. Hopefully I don't smudge it at all. So I just went over each section probably about 4 to 5 times. You'll notice that different paints kind of take differently, I guess, you know, required more coats than others. So yeah, I didn't really stop at all to let it dry. I just did one section and then I would move on to the next section, and then by the time that I would finish the last one, I felt like it was okay to start putting another layer of paint on the first one. So this is looking really, really awesome. I don't know if you can see, let me move that a little bit closer there. So it looks like this is going to be a little bit of a task that we have to take a little bit of care to. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this and then show you all the finished look. So far I have invested about a half an hour into this project. So not too long for what you get out of it, I feel like. Okay, I hope that you're as excited as I am. Here is the finished look. I think that this really, it turned out just as well or even better than I thought it would. And I really like keeping the little saucer the same color that it initially was, because I think it goes perfectly with, with the stripes from where the tape came off. So there you have it. There's the two pots. Yeah, they turned out pretty good, except for one of them here has a little spot where the tape came off that doesn't look so perfect on the edge, but I'm just probably being overly picky. I'll just put that part towards the back when I use it in my living room. So anyway, there you have it. I hope that you really enjoyed this project and found my video inspiring, and thank you for watching.